Hello everyone, I am Komal Mehta teaching as an assistant professor in CSC department at St. Andrew Institute of Technology and Management Gurgaon. Today, in the series of System Development and Designing course, we will cover the following topics. Firstly, what do you mean by system planning? And then initial investigation. There are some specific steps we have to follow for initial investigation. And what are the requirements for doing this? So we will cover all these in this particular video. So let's start with the system planning. System planning is done by the people who have a faith in the future and a vision of future adequate to form the basics for a planning. Basically, we will say planning information system in the business has become increasingly important during the past decade. As firstly, we must have to recognize about the resources and their management because we have limited resources, so we have to plan in a proper way to use the resources in efficient manner. The physical scenario of this particular resource is such as cash. We have to manage the cash we have in our pocket, so that is the first aspect we will focus. Secondly, the more financial resources are committed to the information system, as more as our financial condition is improved, as much improvement in our system that we will derive. So that is the most, secondly, most important thing is financial resources. And the one thing more is that there is long range planning and a short range planning, but systems that are complex that require month or a year to build use common database have a great competitive edges. So the objective is to get the output in a proper manner with the help of efficient planning. There are some concepts to design a system plan in efficient manner, that is firstly proposal and then designing concept. So what do you mean by a proposal here? A proposal is addressed to the decision maker. One of its main ingredients consists of a statement of the objective of the system. That means the objective must be set by a system planner. To design any system, we can say the objective must be defined clearly, because once the objective is clear, we will move further for the implementation phase, for the designing phase. Till the objective is not clear, we can't move further. So the first phase of a planning is must aware about the basic objective of the problem of the designing of a system. That is the purpose. So second thing is designing concept. Once the objective is clear, we have a proposal that is ready, then we will move to the designing concept that completely based on the visualization system. With the help of system engineer, we will say the designing will be done. For example, to create a building, we must need to contact with the architecture that creates a blueprint and gives suggestions about where to open the gate, where to give the path of the following, that is called temple or a bedroom or a drawing room. So with the help of that blueprint, we will check whether the appropriate places is takes place in our house or not. So with the help of designing, with the help of visualization, we will check whether everything goes in proper manner or not. So this is all about system planning. Next is initial investigation. Initial investigation is the first phase of the life cycle, as it is known as identification of the need. This is a user request to change or improve or enhance an existing system. So whether there is any change required in an existing system, we firstly know about the problems in the existing system. To know about that problem, we need investigation, and that is the first phase. That's why it is called the initial investigation. The objective is to determine whether the request is valid or a feasible. If it is valid, then we have to move further, else we have to drop our plan. So the user request identifies the need of a change and authorize the initial investigation. To do the initial investigation, there is one thing we have to focus, that is user request form. The user request form contains some information about the user, about the requirements of the user, and that form will given to the system manager, system engineer that will manage our process. Then first is user assigned title of the work requested. The title of the work is assigned by the user. Next is nature of the work. That means problem definition. The proper problem, what actually is defined in the nature of a work. Next, date request was submitted. There is some date mentioned here, mentioned in the form that up to that particular date, the task will be completed. So that is the date request was submitted. Date job should be completed. Within the duration of that particular date, the task must be completed, will be done by the engineer. Next is the purpose of a job requested. That is, what is the job objective? Why we will do so? Next is expected benefit. That is derived from the proposed changes. After that, input output description. That belongs to the quantity and the frequency of input and output of the changes in a proposed system. For example, how many number of copies, how many number of pages, daily wages, weekly wages are will be defined here. After that, signatures, title, department, and phone number. The basic information of the user so that if there is any query, we can communicate with the user. Once all the process will be done, we have to approve by the user who will give us, assign us the particular task. So signature, title, and department of a person approving the request will be mentioned at last of the form. This is the basic requirements of the user request form. Next is what is the need of identification. Here, the success of a system depend largely on how accurately a problem is defined. Because once it is defined accurately, it will be investigated properly and carried out through the choice of a solution. There will be multiple choice of a solution if the problem is defined in a proper way. It is concerned with what user needs rather than what he or she wants, because it will focus on the need, not on the willingness. The step is to intended to help the user and analyst understand the real problem rather than its symptoms. We will here focus about the problem, not about the system. For example, a person having some symptoms of a cold, but the actual problem is not a cold. Actual problem is something serious than cold. Then we will have to focus on the problem, not on the symptoms. So it is similar in that what actually we require, we have to focus on that, not what we actually want in the system. The willingness is less important in comparison of essentialness. Next is determining the user information request. There are so many requirements user will have find out, but the point is that how can we will determine that one? Shared, complete, and accurate information requirements are essential in building any system. So it is very difficult to determine user requirement because there are so many reasons. Firstly, we will say about the system requirement changes. As the system requirement changes, user will modify their own requirements. So we will have to modify the system again and again. Next is articulation of the requirements is difficult because experienced user will do the task in a proper way. Functions and process will be easily described with them. But once they will change, the task will automatically become difficult. Heavy user involvement and motivations are difficult because reinforcement for their work is not realized until the implementation phase, because it is too long to wait. For example, here I am saying about the video lecture. Once I am teaching you in my class, till now I delivered my lecture and you got the information about the lecture and you achieved so good marks in your exam. Then you will say, yeah, lecturer is nice, he or she will teach in a proper manner. But if the student got less marks, then they will definitely blame on a teacher that she will not teach properly, she don't do proper efforts. So so we can say our proper task is to teach you, not about the result, right? So if the implementation, that means the result of your student will be achieved in a expectations way, then yeah, this is the very nice, you put too much efforts. If the marks get low, then she will not put any efforts. For example, we can say, आई होप दिस इज क्लियर टू यू. फॉर एग्जाम्पल आई कैन से, आपके एग्जाम्स हैं अभी, सेशनल्स एग्जाम है फॉर एग्जाम्पल, राइट? सो आउट ऑफ 50 यू स्कोर्ड 40 मार्क्स, देन यू विल से यार मैम ने ना बहुत अच्छा पढ़ाया था, लेक्चर्स बहुत अच्छे दिए थे, मटेरियल, स्टडी मटेरियल बहुत अच्छा था, एक्सप्लेन करने का वे बहुत अच्छा था, आपको सब कुछ पॉजिटिव दिखेगा, राइट? अगर आपके एग्जाम में मार्क्स अच्छे आते हैं तो. इफ अगर दूसरा सिनेरियो लेते हैं, इफ आपके मार्क्स आउट ऑफ 50 आते हैं 20, दैट इज टू मच लो, बहुत कम है. अब वो बहुत कम है तो आप लोग अपने ऊपर तो ब्लेम लेंगे नहीं कि नहीं आपने नहीं पढ़ा, आप लोग क्या बोलेंगे, यार लेक्चर ही नहीं देना आता फैकल्टी को, तो यार कंटेंट अच्छा नहीं था, कोई भी एक्सक्यूज देकर मतलब आप ब्लेम लगा देंगे डायरेक्टली टीचर पे. सो इम्प्लीमेंटेशन के बाद आप लोग अपना कमिटमेंट देते हैं कि यार ये कैसा था, ये कैसा नहीं था. आप लोगों ने इस चीज पे फोकस ही नहीं करा कि मैम ने लेक्चर देना स्टार्ट करा, मैम ने वीडियो बनानी स्टार्ट करी, मैम ने कंटेंट कलेक्ट करा एंड देन आपको सेंड करा. उस चीज का कोई एप्रिसिएशन तब तक नहीं मिलेगा जब तक आपका स्कोर नहीं करोगे आप. सो द इम्प्लीमेंटेशन done, then the appreciation will be given to the all efforts. So efforts are completely effective in the scenario of the implementation. As the implementation done in proper way, the efforts will be the feedback will be positive. And if the implementation is done completely wrong, then the effortless video will be there. Here is the example. I hope this is clear to you. Next is the pattern of the interaction between the user and analyst in designing information requirements is a complex, because there is a requirement of the communication, and communication between user and analyst requirement is too complex sometimes. That's why it creates a complex system. So there are some strategies used by a user. What are these strategies? Firstly, kitchen sink strategy. User throw everything into the requirement definition, overstatement of the needs, such as overabundance of the report. This approach usually reflects the user lack of experience in the area. Here I am taking one example. For example, मैं किचन में आज काम करना स्टार्ट कर रही हूँ. दिस इज माई फर्स्ट डे. ओके, तो मुझे नहीं पता कौन सा कंटेंट कहाँ पे पड़ा है, कौन सा प्रोडक्ट कहाँ पे पड़ा है, कुछ भी नहीं पता. आई डोंट नो अबाउट दैट. एंड आई वांट टू मेक समथिंग स्पाइसी. ओके, तो मैं सब कुछ क्या कर दूंगी, शफल आउट कर दूंगी. मुझे नहीं पता कहाँ पे है, सारा कुछ मैंने एक साथ थ्रो कर दिया, एक साथ रख दिया. आई डोंट नो अबाउट एनीथिंग, मुझे कोई भी एक्सपीरियंस नहीं है. तो इट मीन्स मैंने क्या करा, सब कुछ कंप्लीटली ओवरबर्डन कर दिया. यार ये कहाँ है, ये कहाँ है, सब कुछ थ्रो कर दिया डायरेक्टली. इन सेम सिनेरियो, व्हेन अ क्लाइंट will ask to the user that you have to create this system, you don't know about anything about your requirement, and you will directly put all the things up to the server end. So this is called a kitchen sink strategy. In this, the user don't know about what he or she actually wants. He just know about the things that I have to provide all these things, and nothing else about the product he will aware of. Next is smoking strategy. It set up a smoke screen by requesting several system features when only one or two are needed. It means that, for example, the bargaining power. The basic requirements are limited, but we need extra requests such as bargaining power. For example, I'm going for shopping in a Lajpat Nagar, and I like one top that is of 500. I like one jean that is of 1000, and I like one blazer that is of 2000 in a single shop. Then I will, but I need only one blazer, right? So my need is that particular blazer offer 2000 cost, but I like the top and the jean. Then I'll say, I'll give you, okay, I will give you 3000. Give me the all the three. These are not my needs, these are the completely my my willingness to purchasing that one because I like that one, right? So in same scenario, that is smoky strategy. We need one or two, but we will put extra requirements in the list that is not essential. Requests have to be reduced to one that is realistic, manageable, and achievable. Okay. The next thing is same thing strategy. This strategy indicates user laziness, lack of knowledge, or both. Give me the same thing but in a better format to the computer is a typical statement. For example, I am purchasing one blazer, but I like that one, but I'll say to shopkeeper that give me the blazer of similar type of a same color. Then why should I am asking about the similar one? If I don't like that one, then ignore it. But if you like that one, then purchase that one. Why you like the similar one? This is the completely irrelevant thing, right? The analysts have a little chance of succeeding because for better format through the computer is the irrelevant. Now, there are some strategies for determining information requirements. So, what are the basic strategies will be followed? Firstly, asking, next is getting information, and next is prototyping. So, let's discuss about these one by one. Firstly, asking. This strategy obtain information from user by simply asking them about the requirements. There are some methods of asking. First is question method. It contains open-ended or a closed one. Now here an open-ended question allow the respondent to the formula of a response. It means it is used when feeling or opinion are important. For example, how do we evaluate the latest addition in our hardware? If I will ask to my employees, then this is the open-ended. Any one of my employee list will reply on that. So that's why it is called a open-ended. In closed question request, one answer from a specific set of a response. So there is one specific set of a response. We have to put any of that response and revert to us. For example, how long you have been manager of a computer center. So there is particular limit of that particular reply that is called a short or a closed one. Next one is brainstorming. It is a technique used for generating new ideas and obtaining general information requirements. So basically we can say about the brainstorming is that each participant to define ideal solution and then select the feasible one. So to select the best feasible one within the solutions will be done in a brainstorming. It works well for the user who have system knowledge but have difficulty in accepting the new ideas because there are too many persons who will tell us different new ideas. Then we have to put select any of them and select the best feasible one. That is called a brainstorming. Next is group consequence. It asks participants for expectation regarding the specific variable. Here the best example is Delphi inquiry. Here each participant fill out a questionnaire and the results are summarized and given to the participant along with their follow-up questionnaire. Now participants are invited to change their response if they want, and then again the result will be summarized and feedback to the participant. This debate of questionnaire continues until participants' responses have converged enough. The best method about the three is this one. Why so? Because in this, there is no pressure of the higher authority or no influence. That's why it is a best method among the three. Next way is getting information from the existing information system. So there are two ways of getting information from the existing one. Firstly, data analysis. Next is decision analysis. Data analysis means determining the information from existing one when the information is currently received and what other information is required. So we first know about what we actually have and what we actually required. This is completely a structured decision. But the drawback of this is a lack of established rule for obtaining and validating information needs that are not linked to the organizational objectives. So the next one is decision analysis. In this, the problem is broken down into parts and focus on small chunks for the critical issues will be handled by the users. So we will say this is completely unstructured decision. The main drawback is that the information requirement may change when user is replaced because each user has their own way to solve the problem. So once the user will promoted or replaced, the criteria will be varied user to user. This is the problem facing in a decision analysis. So there are some specific steps to follow initial investigation. To perform initial investigation, firstly, we must know about the actual problem. That is problem definition or a problem initiation. So the problem must be stated clearly, understood, and agreed upon by the user and the analyst because user will perform that particular requirement list and analyst will perform the and fulfill the requirements of the user. So it is clear to both of them, that what actually problem is and what will be the problem followed by. Next is background analysis. Once the project is initiated, the analysts begin to learn about the setting and the existing one and the physical process related to the revised system. What actually exists in the system will be done by the analyst is checked in the background analysis. So the next is fact finding. Once the background information is obtained, the analyst begin to collect the data on the existing system output, input, and the cost. So there are so many tools to collect a data, such as review of the written document, on-site observation, interviews, questionnaires. These are the some tools that I will discuss definitely in detail in my further videos. Today, just giving you a brief intro about the fact finding. Sorry. Next is fact analysis. As the data is collected, they must be organized and evaluated and conclusion drawn for preparing the report to the user for final review and the approval. There are also so many tools to analyze the facts, whether this is right or a wrong. So such as decision table, structure table, DFD, input output analysis. So we can say about the steps, that is, firstly we have to know about what the actual problem is, that is problem definition. One we know about the problem, then we will search, is it actually existing or not, is it feasible or not. So we have to know about the background of that particular problem. So background analysis is required. Once background analysis will be done, we will finding out the facts actually existing one and collect some more information that is not in a previous one and then implementing it. So fact finding is done, all this operation. Once all the operation will be done, we have to analyze, we have to summarize with the help of report so that we can submit to the user for a final review. So this will be done in the fact analysis method. So there are so many tools for fact analysis as well that I will discuss further in my videos. So these are the basic steps for defining any problem with the help of some specific steps in initial investigation. So the conclusion about this is that the outcome of initial investigation is to determine whether an alternative system is feasible or not, the proposal detail for finding the investigation, the approval of the document initiates a feasibility study which led to the selection of the best candidate system. Because to find the best candidate system, we have to perform the initial investigation. So this is all about initial investigation and the system planning. I hope this is clear to all of you. There are some key points that I discussed in my video. These are: what do you mean by a system planning? What do you mean by initial investigation? Why we are doing initial investigation? There are some steps to defining the difficulty of user requirement. What are these one? Some strategies we will follow. What are these one? Kitchen sink strategy, smoking strategy, same thing strategy. What is the best among these? There are some strategies for determining information, such as asking, getting information from the previous one, and a prototyping. What are these one as well? And after that, the steps that we followed to find the initial investigation, that are problem definition, background analysis, fact finding, fact analysis. So this is all about today lecture. Thank you.